Good evening, listeners. My name's Pro Tipster Martin. Welcome you to our Premier League Tips podcast. Game Week 7 coming up this weekend. With me, I've got Pro Tipster Dan.
Hi, everyone.
Normally I have Pro Tipster Tom, but he's unfortunately swanning off around Europe at the moment, I believe. So it's just us two this evening. Let's get straight to it, Dan. Let's go with our game of the week, Chelsea versus Manchester City. It's a late kickoff on Saturday. What are your thoughts on this one?
It promises to be an interesting game, but I think it's interesting for the wrong reasons. I saw Antonio Conte complaining this morning because obviously Chelsea won against Atletico Madrid last night, 2-1. And saving our tip of the day bacon. And he was complaining because they get back to England this morning, and then they've got a game on Saturday, whereas Man City played at home against Shakhtar Donetsk, and they've got a bit more time to prepare. Yeah. Although Conte's saying this, and I think he's a bit cautious. I think against Atletico, we're seeing the return of the champion of how good Chelsea are. The reason they were champions last year. In Morata, I think they found a striker who can fill Diego Costa's boots. I think in midfield they've got everything. It's coming together nicely.
Yeah, great.
Bakayoko and Fabregas are playing really well.
You reckon they'll start together again this weekend?
Yeah, I think they will. And Man City, I watched them play Shakhtar, and they were very profitable. They didn't take their chances. You look at their lineup, and you look at like Sane, Aguero, Jesus, and then you've got like Sterling came off the bench, and they should have buried Shakhtar.
I wonder if they underestimated Shakhtar a little bit.
I'm just not convinced them defensively. Left back I think is a real problem for them with Mendy out for a while.
True.
I mean, it might be the bias in me, but I'm not convinced by Fabian Delph as a left back.
He's just been called up for the England squad as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think that's demonstrable of how poor England are as well, to be fair.
He's played 20 minutes of Premier League football, and Gareth Southgate thinks, oh, why not? Let's call him up. Don't get that at all.
Me either. But I don't think the England team's much good anyway.
Yeah.
So, Man City are favourites, but I'm honestly, I think Chelsea are going to do it. I think they're going to end Man City's unbeaten record, and I'll go for Chelsea at 2.80. I think it'll be a good game, but I think Chelsea are going to win, and this is going to be the first true test of just how far Pep Guardiola's side have come.
Yeah,
and I don't think they're going to pass it.
I agree with you that Mendy's a huge loss at left back. I'm actually going the other way though. I'm going for a City win. I personally think it'll be a high-scoring game. But I mean, you touched on Morata, 6 in 6 for him. And just looking at Aguero and Jesus up front together at the moment, it's great to watch. And Aguero scored. Looked at a stat. Aguero scored in his last 8 away games that he started. And only Van Persie's actually got the record on 9, so he could equal that record if he scores, which I think he will. I think he'll score against Chelsea. They're both great going forward, but I think they're both still a little bit suspect at the back, which is why I think there'll be goals. I'm going for a City away win on this one. I'm looking forward to it. Don't get me wrong. Rich versus richer. It'll be a good one for the neutral. But
I agree. I think the best bet probably, if you're looking for like an easy bet, I think the best bet is going to be over 2.5 goals, because there's going to be goals in that one without a shadow of a doubt. And I think it is going to be a fantastic game. You see, I'm not convinced by Man City's back line. I look at they don't have Company, because he's injured, and I think he's he's a true leader.
True.
And although he's better than Bravo, I'm not actually convinced by Edison as a goalkeeper either.
He's not really been tested too much yet, is he?
No, he's not been tested yet, and I think this is a big one for him. Morata is seems to be worth every penny of the 60 million they paid for him. But the thing with Chelsea is, you look at like Batshuayi coming off the bench. Batshuayi scored like 6 goals in like 5 games or something like that.
Yeah, something silly like that. He's done well.
You can't underestimate the strength they've got in depth as well at Chelsea.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, City score goals for fun. Was it 21 goals or something in the first?
Something like that, yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be a great one to watch.
For sure.
Okay, let's move on. Early kickoff on Saturday, Huddersfield versus Spurs. Now, for me, I don't know what you're going for, Dan, but I'm going for a comfortable Spurs away win because Harry Kane last couple of weeks just ridiculous. I think he's, a lot of people obviously giving him sticks, saying he was a 1-2 season, 3 season wonder, and still giving it all jibes to Spurs fans. But I think 99.9% of fans now agree that he's absolutely world class. And this coming from a West Ham fan who don't like Spurs at the best of times, but he's just on another planet at the moment. I'd rate him right up there with the best in the world currently.
Yeah, I've got to agree. I think it's funny he doesn't like scoring in August, but he has shown his true talent, and there is no denying you can't keep scoring goals for this long and not be world class.
Exactly.
I think Spurs as well. You've got Eriksen's coming back. He's fit after illness. Dele Alli,
I wasn't sure.
He's going to be available. Dele Alli was suspended for European competition, but he's back. Jan Vertonghen's back. Okay, Serge Aurier's out, but I think they've got some class. You could play Ben Davies at left back.
Yeah.
I'm going for a comfortable Spurs win too. I mean, they're 1.40 for a reason. Yeah. Huddersfield, for all their initial start, I don't think they've got it. I think they're starting to lose it now. It's going to be a tough one for them. It's going to be a game, I think, that they need to try and hang on and pick off Spurs on the counter, but I don't think they'll be able to. Harry Kane at the moment is imperious, and he's going to be the key. So yeah, I've gone for Spurs to win at 1.40.
Okay, I've sort of gone for the same as you. I've gone Spurs on the minus 1.75 Asian handicap at 2.28. Slightly better value there. I think Kane will get at least one at the weekend, and like you say, Huddersfield they've been found out a little bit. Like two, okay, they got a point against Leicester. They struggled away to Burnley. Although yes, they got another point, but I think they're finding it difficult to score any goals at the moment. Obviously, they lost 2-0 to us a couple of weeks ago, and then I think before that it was another 0-0 draw at Southampton. So.
Yes, and Steve Mooney's out. He's still out. He's got a heel problem. I think they're missing him.
Yeah.
So that's part of it. Definitely part of it.
Completely agree. So yeah, completely agree on that one, Dan. Minus 1.75 Asian handicap for me. Okay, moving on. Let's have a look at Bournemouth versus Leicester now. This is potentially quite a interesting matchup. Quite tight.
Yeah, it is. Bournemouth, 19th place, just a 1 win so far this season. I think they're finding it really hard. This season.
Yeah.
They lost to Everton, as I believe both of us predicted the Everton win.
Yeah, I believe we did actually. Yeah.
Oumar Niasse as well. He's starting to find the net for Everton. It's a tough one because Leicester are a bit unpredictable, but again, I think we both said about Shinji Okanaki. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think we both said about him being a key player, and he was when Leicester last played. And I think he's going to be again. And okay, Leicester is 17th, but I think there's definite improvement there. They got a couple against Liverpool. They fought back, and I think they've got enough to put away Bournemouth. 2.54 Leicester, the Leicester win is, which is pretty tasty odds, and I've gone for it. I think they're going to do it. I think Leicester have got goals and then Bournemouth don't. It'll be as simple as that.
It all depends on whether Jermaine Defoe turns up, really, because I think he's the key for Bournemouth. I read a stat as well that Bournemouth have never lost to Leicester in the Prem.
Really?
Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see whether that record remains. But I'm with you. I personally think Leicester are going to do it. 2.54 for the Leicester win. I just think Jamie Vardy's finding a little bit of form now. He scored 3 in the last 3 and 6 games against Bournemouth. I personally think him and Okazaki link up quite well this season. I think he'll score. Okazaki could well score as well. But yeah, Bournemouth are a bit shaky at the back. I think they were quite fortunate as well to beat Brighton the other week, which I think is their only win so far this season. So yeah, for me, Leicester away win.
It's good to see we both agree on that one.
Yes. Now we're moving on to yet another one of these. How many are Man United going to score against Palace? I
should point out here that we were both right and Tom was wrong.
Yes.
Because I think you actually said that that Manchester City would put 5 past them, and they did. Yeah, Man United at the moment, the form they're in. I didn't think they'd beat CSKA Moscow by 4 goals to 1. I thought that it wouldn't be that far apart. But you look at Lukaku, he's just amazing at the moment.
It's impressive. Who would you choose if you had to choose Lukaku, Morata, or Kane? Who would you have in your side at the minute?
Well, I don't. You see, I think that's a tough question because they're all different kinds of players.
Yeah.
Like Lukaku's like really strong. Like I'm a big fan of Lukaku because Lukaku's a big, strong striker, and Lukaku scores goals in kind of spurts in important games.
Yeah.
Kane, he does. He will go miss. He's the same. He scores in spurts, but I don't think he's more complete as a striker. I think.
Interesting.
I've not seen as much of him, but he looks like he'll do well in England. To me, he looks like a classic number 9. Good in the air, strong.
Yeah.
We're blessed this season by some of the strikers in the Premier League.
It's unbelievable. I think all 3 of those, plus Aguero, I forgot to mention him. I think all 4 of those will get 20+ goals this season. And I think it bodes well for English clubs in Champions League as well. I think one of us could win it. One of the teams.
Well, the big question, I think the only question in this game is Palace going to score? And, it's been 6 games now.
I think the answer for me this weekend is no, again.
No, I can't see it. I know that Man United have got some problems, injuries in midfield. Pogba's been out. But I think, was it Daley Blind played in midfield against Moscow?
Delaney's injured again as well, isn't he?
Yeah, so it's... I think that's maybe the only question mark. But I can't see Palace scoring.
Who's going to score? I mean, Benteke's injured, and there was a funny rumour. It might be true. Palace are looking to get Carlton Cole on a free.
That just screams desperation to me.
It really does. A guy who hasn't. I don't think he scored this year. He didn't score last year at all, and it'd be interesting to see Palace fans' views on that, whether they'd want Carlton Cole at the club. I mean, I just like you. I just don't see where the goal's coming from. Honestly, don't.
Isn't Loftus-Cheek injured as well?
Is he really?
Yeah, I'm sure I saw something about Loftus-Cheek being injured. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's a huge loss if that's the case.
If he's out, that's them done. I think. Yeah. Benteke is like. I mean, you got to look at. They brought on Bakary Sakho to replace him last week.
Yeah.
You got Jason Puncheon, who I think Puncheon's like a leader type that they need, but he's not a goal scorer. And then who else is there? Really, who else is there?
Maybe.
Yeah, but and Zaha would have a point to prove as well against Man U, but I've gone for Man U -1, and even that's only 1.48.
Wow.
The only reason I've gone for Man U -1 and not further is that I actually think that Man U might not score as many as Man City did. But then again, and I'm only basing that on the fact that they only put 1 past Southampton. I think at home that they could score more, but I'm playing it safe with this one.
Yeah, that's good. That's a wise choice. Well, I'm actually playing it. I'm going a little bit riskier. I'm going United on the -2.5 Asian handicap at 2.23. I think it's pretty good value. I just think it's going to go the same way as the City game. Honestly, do. United just look too strong. Palace awful. They need to sort it out. Otherwise, if they've got Chelsea coming up after this, and they'll probably lose that as well. They need to buck their ideas up. And after 15 games, if they're still struggling, they're gone for me, unfortunately.
Well, if they're still struggling this way after 15 games, they're competing with Derby and Sunderland for the worst Premier League points total.
Yeah, agree with that. 11 points, isn't it?
something like that. Yeah. I mean, there's a saying in English, isn't there? Lucky to get nil. And to be honest, that's been Palace this season. Lucky to get nil.
Yeah, completely agree. So yeah, we pretty much agree on that one. You don't think there's going to be as many goals, but it's one of those for United. I mean, in the past, how many 0-0 games did they have at half time last season? Loads. So if they don't start as quickly, they could well end up only scoring 1, maybe 2. So you might be right there, but United will win. Simple as that, really. Okay, we're moving on to another tight contest, actually. Stoke versus Southampton.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I think Stoke have had a really tough opening part to the season. It has been hard for them.
Yeah.
And they got buried by Chelsea last weekend. Again, I think both. No, it was you. You said that Chelsea was going to bury them. I said they would win, but you said they would bury them. They've not won in. I'm trying to think how many it is. It's 4 or 5.
They done Arsenal, didn't they? I think it's about. When was that? Second game or something? Mid-August.
Yeah, it was 19th of August. They haven't won since then. I think that run's got to come to an end. I think this is the game where it will happen. Southampton were unlucky against Man U. You know, they fought hard, and they only went down by the odd goal. But I don't think Southampton are playing that well at the moment. It's got to.
Oh, go on.
I was just going to say it's got to come together for Stoke sooner or later.
Yeah.
I thought that defensively against Chelsea they were pretty poor. Like there was one Chelsea goal, and Johnson just lost Morata completely. Like it was just a little ball over the top, and Johnson's like 5 yards behind Morata, and poor Bruno Martinelli. You know, he can't get back. He can't get near him.
Yeah.
But they've got to have more going forward. Stoke City have, and I think it'll be a tight game. I think there'll only be the odd goal in it, but I think Stoke can win this one, and it will be the start of their season, as it were. I think they've got some good players. You know, they've got Choupo-Moting. I think it's not bad. Jesse, is it Jesse or Jesse?
Yeah, Jesse. Yeah.
Jesse, that's it, Spanish. He's not bad either. So, yeah, I think I'm going for Stoke, and at 2 point, it's that home win it over 2.91 for a home win against Southampton. Screams value to me, so I've gone for it.
Interesting. I've actually gone for the draw in this one at 3.17. Like you, I don't think there'll be many goals. I think it'd probably be like 1 or something like that. But the stats interest me really. The fact that Stoke have only won 3 in the last 15 at home to Southampton. That's a pretty interesting stat. But one that baffled me was that Southampton have only scored 8 goals from their last 180 shots on goal. It's incredible. And he's started to play Shane Long a little bit now. So Gabbiadini's a little bit out of favour, and I'm not sure why. Because I rate Gabbiadini highly personally, but there must be a reason why he's starting from the bench at the moment. But I personally feel Gabbiadini should start for them to have any sort of chance of winning a game.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Gabbiadini's a great player. I don't know why he's out at the moment,
but again, as much as Southampton have had a bit of a shaky start, they haven't lost away from home in the last 4 games, so they seem to travel quite well. So, although I don't think they'll have enough to win the game, I've gone for the draw. I just don't think Stoke have enough firepower up front at the minute to demolish teams, and I think Fraser Forster in goal is no slouch. So I personally think, especially with Van Dijk back in central defence, I think Southampton will do enough to get a point.
Yeah, I can see where you're going with that, and I know your reasoning because I think you said last week in these kind of games you go for the draw, but I just got to go for the home win.
Yeah, I see why. There's a little bit of value there. You're right. Okay, so move on to another tight game potentially, and that's West Brom at home to Watford.
Yeah, I was disappointed by West Brom. I said that I thought they would turn over Arsenal, and maybe they could have done. They were unlucky. Like Jay Rodriguez probably could have had a penalty.
Well, definitely was a penalty. I think he was too honest.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that. But there's also, like, some people said maybe the ref played the advantage because he got up and he had the shot and goal. But I think they showed against Arsenal why I thought they could do it. They weren't that bad at all. They were kind of unlucky for as you say, they probably should have had the penalty, and then the penalty at the other end was a bit dodgy too.
Yeah, I agree.
And they're playing a Watford side who you got it bang on about beating Swansea last week. I was wrong on that one. I don't know. Watford are a tough call for me because they're sixth in the table. I just like, how have they done that? How have they done that?
Is there a way
when you look at a team, you're like, how have you done that?
Yeah.
You're right. It is their away form because at home they got buried 6-0 by Man City, didn't they? But they've beaten Swansea, they've beaten Southampton.
Yeah, albeit let's get it right. They've not had any real tough tests away from home yet. And again, this is another one which they could potentially win. I mean, they'll be in the Champions League places if they win this. It's amazing stuff if you're a Watford fan.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, maybe it's just a little bit. I've got a lot of West Bromwich Albion friends, and West Brom aren't doing too badly. I mean, they're kind of middle table sort of thing, which I think is always good for them. They're punching about where they should be.
Yeah,
weight-wise. No, they haven't, and they haven't won in I think 4 or 5 in all competitions.
Yeah.
I think this is the game where that's going to come to an end. I think this is like a 1-0 home win. You're right, the Watford's away form is great, but I actually, Albion above 2 at 2.23 at home. I've gone for it. I think Pulis will know Watford's game, and I think he'll back. He'll have the baggies up for this one. So that's what I've gone for.
Interesting. You've gone the same way pretty much as the Stoke Southampton, and I've gone the same way as Stoke Southampton. I'm actually going for a draw again. Probably another one of those. If I'm not sure, I'll back the draw. But I'm just impressed with Marco Silva. Really, really impressed with him. He did a half decent job at Hull, and he's coming at Watford. And like I mentioned, their away form is impeccable. 3 on the spin. First time in their history they've done that in the Prem. But then I do look at it as well, and West Brom have only lost once in the last 9 at home against Watford. So that was something to consider as well. I think it'd be an interesting game. Really, really interesting game. I think it might be decided. If it is decided, it'll be decided potentially by a set piece. But one thing that concerns me, only because of last weekend, West Ham Spurs, in charge was Michael Oliver. I thought we had a terrible, terrible game. Maybe that was just me being biased because we got battered.
He's a terrible referee.
Yeah, I'm not a fan at all.
I was going to say the only one who's worse is the one who Albion had last weekend, Bobby Madley. He's shocking.
But yeah, Michael Oliver's in charge for this one, and I don't know. Could we see a red card? Could we see some penalty incidents? Who knows? But it's too tough to call for me. I don't think Watford will lose. I think their away form is too good. And I just don't think West Brom will have enough. So I've gone for the draw. I actually think it might be 1-1.
Yeah, I could see that. But yeah, I'm going for the home win.
Cool. Right, my team next. Let's talk about West Ham v Swansea, shall we? Personally, it feels like a must-win already for us. We lost. Okay, if you look at the scoreline, we lost 3-2 to Spurs. So people that didn't see that game must have thought, "Oh, that looked close," but we could have been 6-0 down by the time we scored a goal. It was embarrassing. It really was, and we've lost Antonio to injury, which is
that's a big blow, a really big blow.
Massive, very, very frustrating. I think it was him that had a fitness test before the game, and he passed it. So Bilic was like, right, okay, that's fine. You start, and then that goes and happens, and that kind of changed the game, really. But it's the same thing with us. We always concede first and fall apart. So
okay, I've got a question for you.
Okay.
So obviously West Ham under pressure, Slaven Bilic massively under pressure. If Slaven Bilic went, do you think you'd get Carlo Ancelotti in? Because he said in the past, in 2011, that he wanted to manage West Ham.
Did he really?
Yeah. Chelsea boss Carlo Ancelotti, I would take West Ham job. May the 22nd, 2011.
Wow. But that was 6 years ago. And
Yeah.
a lot's changed.
Maybe, but you've just gone down at the point, and he still was. He was leaving Chelsea.
Yeah.
And he said, that he would take it. I mean, and he was linked with you guys in 2015 as well, before he took on Slaven Bilic.
Yeah.
Third time lucky.
It's an interesting point, actually. I'd certainly take. Don't get me wrong. I'd certainly take Ancelotti, but for me, I mean, being a Birmingham fan, Gold and Sullivan don't like sacking managers, really.
No, they don't like paying managers off. That's what it is.
That's probably the best way of putting it. So I can, even if we do lose against Swansea, I think Bilic will at least get till Christmas to see what he can do. But the three touted, you mentioned Ancelotti. The other two are Roberto Mancini and Pellegrini. I mean, I wouldn't mind either of those, but personally, I'm a Bilic fan. He just needs a bit of luck. And I think he'll get it this weekend. I'm being biased again. I'm going for a 2-1 win. I think it'll be tight. Don't get me wrong. We never. I can't remember the last time we battered a team, to be honest, and won comfortably. I'll be at the game on Saturday, as usual. I'm
going to not surprise you. I've gone for a West Ham win as well. There's no goals in Swansea's team. They're not playing very well, and I just got a feeling this is the kind of game that West Ham know they need to win, and they'll get the points. It's a good. There'll be a home crowd behind, and I know that West Ham fans aren't happy with Gold and Sullivan, and they're more likely to be behind Bilic than they would be normally.
Yeah.
So I think I've just got this feeling that will help, and like West Ham 1.83, I think decent odds, so that's what I've gone for.
Nice. I've gone exactly the same. West Ham to win 1.83. Like I said, I think it'd be tight. Lanzini might be back. I don't think he'll be back to start, but he might be back on the bench this weekend, and that's huge for us because he's our best player at the end of the day. And the fact we haven't got Antonio is gonna hurt us a little bit. But Swansea haven't lost yet away from home this season, which is another reason why I'm a little bit like I don't think we'll batter them. I know you mentioned Swansea haven't got a goal in them, but being a West Ham fan, I'm always wary that Swansea nick one early on, Tammy Abraham or someone like that. So it's IU versus IU, isn't it? So
yeah,
that'd be interesting. But yeah, we've only lost once in the last 9 games against Swansea, and it's one of those teams that I just expect us to beat. I'll be very disappointed if we don't get 3 points. We need 3 points. And another crazy stat: Swansea have never kept a clean sheet away from home against us in their history.
Wow, that's a good stat.
Yeah, that is a stat and a half. So I reckon it'd be close, probably a 2-1 win or something like that. But I agree. I've gone with a home win. Right, let's move on to midday kickoff. Strange, but it's a midday kickoff on Sunday. Arsenal versus Brighton.
Yeah, Arsenal playing right now against Bate Borisov of Belarus in the Europa League. Looks like a cracker of a game we're missing. Arsenal 3-1 up.
Blimey, it's only half an hour gone.
Yeah, they were 3-0 up after 26 minutes. Walcott's got a couple. Rob Holding's got one.
Wow, that must have been from a set piece.
Theo Walcott corner, headed on by Mertesacker, and Rob Holding sticks a shin to guide it in from a few yards out. Wilshere apparently is playing like a man on fire at the moment.
Wow.
The words genuinely sensational I'm seeing in the commentary here.
It's got to be an Arsenal fan doing that.
Yeah, probably. But, Arsenal played a couple of kids in this one as well. They played Reece Nelson and Joe Willock, and apparently they're both playing quite well as well too. And I think Arsenal being clever here because, Arsene Wenger knows that he needs points on the board in the Premier League.
Yeah.
So he's rotated the squad. Sanchez isn't in, Ozil's not in. You look at this team and it's like the whole of the Arsenal midfield is basically kids and now Nene.
It seems to be working for him.
But yeah, I know a lot of people don't like Arsene Wenger, but I'm not one of them. I think he's actually really good for English football because he seems to have a knack for bringing through young players, and he doesn't he kind of holds on to them for far longer than most teams do. I mean, Holding, like, they signed him for a fair whack from Bolton, and last season was he out on loan last season? But he wasn't really considered like a first teamer, and now he's starting to come into it, and he's looking more and more like the player they needed in defence.
Yeah, they nearly got Staffy as well, didn't they? That was a strange one.
Yeah, I think it's money. Arsenal are a very, very tightly run ship, and it's money and wages and stuff like that. And they're playing Brighton, who of course lost Toma Hemed to a 3-match ban.
That's very silly.
Yeah, it was because he didn't get done in the game, but he stamped on a player, didn't he? It was on video, so he was always going to get done. He was always going to get done for that. So, yeah.
I think who that was. It was Yedlin, wasn't it?
Yeah, DeAndre Yedlin. That's the one of Newcastle.
Yeah.
So I mean, Arsenal very short, 1.24. I've not gone for the handicap because Arsenal have a notorious habit of letting me down. So I've just gone for Arsenal to win at 1.24. I actually do think that Arsenal should put a few past Brighton, but they probably won't.
Yeah, it's one of those.
But I nearly get a second. Ospina just had to save from a free kick. It was offside. So there you go. But Arsenal 1.24.
Cool. I think they've already won that Europa League game by the looks of it.
Yeah.
I've kind of similar. I've gone for an Arsenal win, but I've gone for an Arsenal win on the 1.75 Asian handicap, 1.75, because 1.82 I think is still a half decent price. I want to try and get a bit of value out of this game. I think it will pretty much go the same way as the West Brom game. Brighton might get the odd chance, which they probably won't put away, and then Arsenal will just ramp up, go up the gears and score a couple. That's my thoughts. And the fact that they've rested, like you said, a load of the big guns for tonight's game. They'll all be fresh for the weekend. And Chris Hughton, I can just see his team sitting back very defensively. And then once they concede, that they probably will fall apart. I can't see a Chris Hughton side going for the win, personally, at the Emirates. I can't see it happening. And Lacazette's just in ridiculous form as well at the minute. So yeah, Arsenal win. Simple as that for me.
For sure.
Right, let's crack on. 2:15 kick-off on Sunday. We've actually got 3 games on Sunday. Everton v Burnley, this one. The return of Michael Keane.
Yeah. So Everton had a really tough start to the season, haven't they?
They have.
But, I think maybe starting to improve now. That 2-0, the victory last week, which we both tipped, as I recall, has lifted them out of the bottom 3. I think they're in the bottom 3, weren't they?
I think they were actually.
They play Apollo and Limassol tonight, which is why the game's on Sunday. So Michael Keane might not play against, but he's not playing tonight. I don't think he's got a slight injury to his foot, as has Phil Jagielka. I know that Nias has not travelled. Won't play against Apollon tonight, so they're probably holding him back. Burnley are one of those teams. Like, I'm not convinced by them away at all, and I think Everton. I think should do them. It should be an easy win for them. But I just looking now at the injuries list at Everton, it's not good.
I haven't seen it actually.
Okay, so at the moment you've got long term Ross Barkley out with a hamstring, Funes Mori with a knee, Seamus Coleman broken leg, Yannick Bolasie has been out forever with a knee. Then you got Keane and Jagielka who've got knocks. McCarthy's got a knock. He's got a knee knock, and you're like, no wonder that their team's been a bit. They've had to play Calvert-Lewin. They played John Joe Kenny in the cup, and then you've got players like Davy Klaassen, who's not looked great. Mo Besic has not looked great either. But I think they've turned a corner now. I think against Limassol tonight should be a good winner in front of a home crowd. Yeah. And then Burnley at the weekend will be another win in front of a home crowd. So yeah. I'll probably catch the Everton game on Sky.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I'm backing Everton to win. 1.65, decent odds.
Yeah, exactly the same. I'm not going on the Asian handicap or anything. I'm literally going for an Everton win. 1.65, potentially a bit short, but like you say, I think they've turned the corner as well. A win's a win at the end of the day. I know it wasn't very pretty against Bournemouth last time out, but give them a little bit of confidence. It'd be interesting to see what happens if they don't win tonight, confidence-wise, but I expect them to. And I also expect them to beat Burnley at the weekend. Calvert-Lewin, like you mentioned as well, I think it's been class. If he starts, which I think he should, personally, then I think they'll have too much for Burnley. Although, I mean, just looking at Burnley's last couple of away games, very surprising. Yeah, they got a point against who is it? They got a point against Spurs, didn't they? The other week.
Yeah, at Wembley, because Spurs can't win at Wembley.
Yeah, that's true. And they obviously drew against Liverpool at Anfield as well. So, but they're struggling for goals. Obviously, a boring 0-0 against Huddersfield the other weekend. I just think Everton have too much. And yeah, funnily enough, it doesn't happen often in my lifetime, but I've agreed with Paul Merson because he's gone for a 2-0 win. And that's exactly what I think.
Yeah, I can't think of many occasions when I've agreed with Paul Merson either, so you're not alone in that front.
Right, last game of the weekend. It is an absolute classic in years gone by. It's Newcastle at home to Liverpool.
Yeah, how many 4-3s was this thrown up? I'm just trying to...
I can clearly remember two.
There was the one where Stan Collymore scored twice. Wasn't there the one where Kevin Keegan said before the game, "I would love it, just love it"? That one wasn't that a Newcastle 4? Wasn't that a 4-3 as well?
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be quite the same as games in years gone by, but it will be good. You know, I think Newcastle have they've put together a couple of wins. You know, they beat. Was it Swansea they beat? No, sorry. The Stoke they beat at home. They beat Swansea away, but they lost to Brighton because they can't win on South Coast. That's it. Against Liverpool, who I think is starting to come together. You know, I think they've got. You look at their front three now. You know, you've got Firmino, Coutinho's fit again. You've got
Mane's back from suspension as well.
Yeah. Although against Spartak they weren't very good.
I didn't see that game, but I heard about it.
Yeah, they were a bit wasteful in front of goal. But I think they've got enough to turn over Newcastle. I think Klopp's starting to get them to tick together. You know, and it's just that forward line is just scary. You know, I think they'll replace Karius and go with Mignolet. I'm not convinced by Karius. You know, so.
And I think I was saying it might have been at fault for the Spartak goal as well.
Yeah, well, and I'm not convinced by some of their back line either. I don't think Lovren has ever been as good as he was at Southampton. I think Matic's not brilliant. Yeah. So you know, but and Marino as well. I think he's always got a mistake in him. But when you look, you know, you look at the forward line, you look at Coutinho, Salah, Firmino, Mane, Sturridge. Yeah. And then they should do it. And I've gone for Liverpool at 1.68.
Interesting. I think they will. I've gone against you a little bit on this one. I've actually gone for the draw again. I think that's my third or fourth draw. I just think, I completely agree with you. Liverpool's front line is ridiculously good. And on their day, they can beat absolutely anyone. However, their defence is another story. And Newcastle are pretty good at set pieces at the moment. They've had a few good wins. You know, they battered us 3-0 at the end of August. Like you say, they've done Swansea, they've done Stoke. I just think Matt Ritchie, I like him as a player, especially on dead ball situations, whipping the ball into the box, even from corners. And that guy, the captain that got in the defence, Lascelles, he scored a couple from set plays already. And I think that could be Liverpool's undoing this weekend. I think on paper, Liverpool have got too much for them, but I think if Newcastle can get a couple of set pieces into the box, cause them problems, they can get something out of the game. And that, you never want to go to St James's Park and struggle, because that crowd, it's an unbelievable crowd when Newcastle get going. And yeah, for me personally, I can see Newcastle getting something out of the game. They've started well this season. Surprisingly, I didn't expect Newcastle to start so well. They've surprised me. And yeah, I've got a little match bet going on, West Ham Newcastle match bet with my Newcastle mate, and he's giving me stick every week at the moment. But I actually think Newcastle will get something out of the game again, move on to 10 points, and yeah, I'm going for the draw. 3.94, which is pretty.
Wow, that's tasty.
It is tasty. Right, Dan, that is it for another week. Cheers for listening, guys. Give us your comments as to what you think your tips are going to be, and we will see you very soon. There's no Premier League action next week. It's international week.
Yeah.
So we'll have another podcast for Game Week 8 in a couple of weeks.
Awesome. See you all then.
Take care. See you soon, guys.